You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up better. Put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the first part of, What If Naruto Enters Mega Man? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Naruto opened his eyes to find himself laying on his back and staring at a dark ceiling with a dimly lit light bulb. He got to his feet and looked around to see that he was standing in a corridor and that the floor was covered in water reaching up to his knees. Then he heard a low growling noise echoing throughout the hallway. This place, looks like I've returned here again despite my dislike of meeting him again, Naruto grumbled angrily. I might as well go and see what he wants. Naruto was about to take a step forward in direction of the sound when he noticed something strange. He noticed that blue electricity was crackling around his body and he felt a bit numb. What's going on with me? Maybe the fur ball would know about this. He continued on his way, passing through several hallways with the growling sound getting louder by the minute until he finally found himself standing before a large iron gate with a parchment with the kanji seal written on it. Naruto peered through the gate to see large red eyes and a mouthful of fangs. Loud footsteps were heard and a giant fox with rustic orange fur, long ears and 9 tails could be seen. This was none other than Kyuubi, the 9-tailed fox who had attacked the village several years. The leader of the village at that time sacrificed his life to seal the fox within Naruto, who was born on that day. However, since then, many of the villagers mistreated the boy, thinking that he was the fox in human flesh instead of being the one to hold it back. What is it you want, Furball? Why did you bring me here? Naruto asked with a frown. Kyuubi looked at Naruto with anger in his eyes. Foolish brat, do you have any idea what you have done? What are you talking about? All I know is that I was trying to stop Sasuke from doing something stupid like going to Orochimaru, said Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. Sasuke Uchiha, who happened to be Naruto's fellow teammate of Squad 7, had defected from their village to join a rogue ninja who was responsible for the death of the previous Hokage, whom Naruto had seen as his surrogate grandfather upon promising him the power to avenge his clan and kill his brother Itachi Uchiha. Naruto and a group of his fellow ninjas had gone after Sasuke to bring him back to the village, but had split up along the way until it was only Naruto who had caught up with the Uchiha. Naruto tried to beseech Sasuke not to go. He was refused and it turned into a fight with Sasuke trying to kill Naruto, and the blonde trying to knock him out. It went to the point that Sasuke activated a forbidden jutsu which Orochimaru had inflicted him, with Naruto having to even the odds by using the Kyuubi's chakra. They had a final clash with Naruto using a rasengan and Sasuke using Chidori, which resulted in bright flash of light before the blonde found himself waking up within the mindscape. By clashing two techniques with differing types of chakra, you had caused a dimensional rift to appear which your so-called friend threw you inside with a satisfactory smile on his face with that cursed Sharingan of his. Quite typical of the one who belongs in that damned Uchiha clan. Absolute hate could be heard as the Kyuubi spoke of the Uchiha like that. Don't talk about Sasuke that way, it's because of that cursed seal that Orochimaru put on him. He wasn't acting like himself, said Naruto angrily. Kyuubi simply scoffed. It goes to show how little you know of your own teammate. Tell me how much you know of the Sharingan. Well, Kakashi-sensei told me that the Sharingan can see chakra, see normally fast objects much more clearly and predict them too. What I know mostly is that it can copy any kind of jutsu the user sees except for Kekkai Genkai, said Naruto while looking confused. Then let me ask you this, did the Uchiha say anything which you found quite odd? Now that you mention it. Naruto thought back to his battle with Sasuke. Flashback start. Naruto stood on top of the river and looking up at the tall waterfall before him where Sasuke is standing on a ledge looking down at him. What am I to you, Sasuke? I thought we were comrades, or have you forgotten about that? Are you telling me that everything Sakura-chan, you and I have done in Squad 7 meant nothing to you, he yelled out in anger. Sasuke looked at Naruto silently before responding, no, they weren't meaningless. I gained something worthwhile from the times we spent together, we became best friends. Naruto was shocked, he never expected Sasuke to say something like that to him, we're best friends. If so, then why are we fighting? Like I said, we became best friends, which makes it worthwhile for me to kill you. So make your last moments count, Naruto. Then he leapt to the ledge with the Chidori crackling in his left hand. I don't understand what you mean by that, what I do know is that I have to stop you and bring you back to the village. Naruto created a shadow clone as it helped him create a rasengan before charging at Sasuke to clash their techniques against each other. Flashback end. He said that it was worth killing me because we were best friends, Naruto said as he finished the story. As I thought, hey brat, did you know that the Sharingan could evolve into a much stronger form, said the Kyuubi. No, I didn't know, but what does it have to do with Sasuke trying to kill me? Naruto asked confusedly, although he's wondering why he's even holding a conversation with the fox. The advanced form of the Sharingan is the Mangekyo Sharingan, which retains the abilities of a normal Sharingan, only that one gains additional abilities which are extremely powerful, like the Tsukimi, which is an inescapable genjutsu completely under the user's control and capable of inflicting psychological trauma that incapacitates the victim for considerable periods of time or most likely completely shatter one's mentality. You mean that genjutsu Sasuke's brother Itachi used on him and Kakashi-sensei? Asked Naruto. Yes, he had the Mangekyo Sharingan and you saw that it had to take that Senju woman to cure them of the psychological damage, said Kyuubi, to which Naruto nodded in affirmation. You said that there is a way to evolve a normal Sharingan into the Mangekyo Sharingan, what is it? In order to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan, the user must undergo a trauma by witnessing the death of someone close to them. However, the Uchiha clan foolishly misunderstood this condition as the user needing to be responsible for the person's death, hence developing a disgusting rite of killing their closest friends in order to obtain the Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto took a few steps back in shock before falling on his butt as he replayed the words that Sasuke said to him, which now made a lot of sense to him. So you mean that. The blonde couldn't bring himself to finish the sentence. That's right. The brat made you become his best friend so that he could kill you and evolve his Sharingan into the Mangekyo Sharingan. This is one of the reasons why I detest the Uchiha clan, said the Kyuubi. Naruto was shaking his head in disbelief, refusing to accept the truth. No, it can't be true, we've been through a lot together and fought against enemies who were stronger than us and won. I could have been able to help him defeat Itachi too, and we would live the rest of our lives happily. I find that to be very stupid, Kyuubi scoffed, which made Naruto glare at him with rage. What the hell are you talking about, you stupid fox? You were trying to force your ideals on someone else, what you want is not what he wants. Huh? Naruto looked confused at what the fox said. That brat sought power in order to kill his brother and avenge that accursed clan, but you sought to help him, which was not what he desired. When he saw that you were getting stronger, the brat felt that he wasn't striving towards his goal hard enough and decided to seek his power elsewhere, and also saw you as the means to an end. But everyone could have helped him get stronger, we could have backed him up. Naruto protested. And once again you're forcing him to do something he doesn't want. Time to face the facts, the Uchiha was never your friend from the very beginning. You better accept it with where we're going, said Kyuubi. What do you mean by that? Dimensional rifts are extremely rare occurrences very few would know of, they serve as entryways to different worlds that could be similar to one or contrast to another. However, they are not without consequences. What kind of consequences? Kyuubi let out a sigh, knowing that what he's about to say next could break the kid's heart. When a dimensional rift appears, the world will immediately repair it as quickly as possible before closing it up. Should one pass through the rift, he would end up in another world and would never be able to return to his original world. Naruto felt his heart shatter as the words were heard. So you mean that I would never see Konoha or my friends again? I would never see Grandma Tsunade, Pervy Sage, Kakashi-sensei, Iruka-sensei, Sakura-chan, Hinata, and Konohamaru, ever again. This isn't fair. Teardrops could be heard dripping on the already wet floor as Naruto, someone whom had never cried in a long time, was crying for the first time in many years. Just when things were finally looking up for me, I find myself alone again. Why should this happen to me? I don't want to be lonely anymore. Suddenly he felt something furry curl around his body and lift him into the air. He looked to see that one of Kyuubi's tails was carrying him into the cage. He started to struggle out of the hold, but the tail wouldn't let him go. What are you doing? Let me go. But the Kyuubi remained silent and refused to release him. Naruto closed his eyes as he waited for the fox to end his life, but nothing happened, no pain, no roar, just silence. He slowly opened his eyes to see that he was situated next to the Kyuubi, who curled up next to him. Why are you doing this? I thought you wanted to kill me and be free. Kid, ever since I was sealed within you, I've been watching every minute of your life up to now. I've seen how the villagers treated you, and due to my hatred toward humans I found it amusing at first. But as time went on, amusement was slowly replaced with anger at their foolish prejudice. I was expecting you to become a self-fulfilling prophecy to those damned villagers, but you still held true to yourself, which I must admit left a large impression on me, said Kyuubi. Then why were you so savage towards me when we first met? Asked Naruto quietly. It was a test to see how you would react to seeing me for the first time. Although you were rude when requesting for my chakra, you didn't do it out of hatred, hence increasing my respect for you, and since then you never asked for it any differently every time. Naruto was shocked. The very reason why every villager hated him actually respected him. He found it odd but at the same time comforting. Thank you for respecting me, and I also want to apologize. I shouldn't have been talking to you that way. It's alright, kid. So what happens now, and why is electricity emitting from my body? Like Naruto said, blue electricity seen crackling from his body, and the numbness can be felt around his entire body now. One of the other consequences is that one's body would be ripped apart. But thanks to being my Jinchuriki, my chakra will be able to prevent that as well as alter it to adapt to the new environment that you'll end up in. In a way, I guess it means that we'll be living a whole new life, right, Kyuubi? Asked Naruto with a smile, although still feeling sad about the people he's leaving behind in his old world. You're right about that. By the way, it's Kurama, said Kyuubi. Naruto looked a bit confused. What? That's my name. Kyuubi is just a title, as no human has proven themselves worthy of hearing my true name. The same goes for my fellow Bijou, as they too have true names, although you know of Shikaku. Naruto smiled widely at the now known Kurama. It's nice to finally meet you, Kurama. Same here, Naruto, said Kurama with a smile of his own. Suddenly they both felt a sudden surge, and Naruto looked down at himself to see that he was fading away, much to his shock. What's going on, Kurama? Asked Naruto. It seems like we've arrived at our unknown destination and you're waking up. Time to check out how our new home is like. You got it, Kurama. Catch you later, said Naruto with a thumbs up before fully disappearing. Naruto opened his eyes and sat up to look around the area. He noticed that the place seemed kind of strange and foreign, which is kind of obvious given how he is in a new dimension now. He got up, but not before realizing that he was wearing different clothes from what he wore before coming here. He is wearing a black spandex bodysuit with a chest plate over it which has a 9-tailed fox motif colored orange on the front and a red spiral which is located at the back, and a pair of fingerless gloves with metal plates on the backhands. He had noticed that the cloth of his forehead protector had been swapped for a long black one, and is wearing a pair of ninja sandals with shin guards. There is also a sheath attached to the back of his waist with some sort of blade inside it. Doesn't this look like what the AMBU normally wear? As Naruto walked around for a bit, he took note of atmosphere being neither night nor day, the ground looking like tiled platforms with tall cube-shaped totems pointing towards the sky, and some even floating in midair, if you can even call it that. This is kinda weird if you ask me, Naruto mumbled to himself. Suddenly he heard something making squeaking sounds and turned around to see a large group of strange-looking creatures. They all looked like a small black ball with eyes, wearing a yellow hard hat with a green cross on it. What are those things? Naruto wondered to himself. Suddenly one of the creatures spawned a pickaxe from out of nowhere and slammed it on the ground, which created a shockwave that raced towards him. Naruto wasted no time as he leapt into the air to avoid the shockwave before landing on the ground and glaring at the creatures that spawned more of their pickaxes and were closing in to attack. All I know now are that they aren't friendly, so much for a welcome party. As he got ready to fight, a faceplate appeared to cover his mouth and nose, much to his surprise, although he could breathe through it just fine. As much as I like the features of these new clothes, I could really use some ninja tools, said Naruto. He had instinctively for his ninja pouch, which was usually attached to his hip, only to notice that it was not there. Then he reached for the blade in the sheath and pulled it out to see that it had the appearance of an elongated kunai with Konoha symbol on it, the blade from the Lost Tower movie. Naruto held the blade in reverse grip before charging towards the creatures. Along the way he crossed his middle and index fingers together and called out, "Shadow Clone Jutsu." There was a puff of smoke which faded away to reveal duplicates of himself running alongside Naruto as they charged at the creatures. Naruto slashed down on one of the creatures and was surprised when he saw it explode into blue cubed particles before completely disappearing without a trace. As much as he wanted to think about it, Naruto quickly leapt into the air to evade an incoming shockwave which was approaching him from behind. "Man, I could really use some shuriken right about now," Naruto mumbled. Then all of a sudden a flash of light appeared at his free hand before it faded to reveal him holding a handful of shuriken. Much to his surprise, "As much as I want to know how I got them, I better focus on these guys." Then he threw the shuriken below, which took some of the creatures before landing back on the ground. Naruto looked around and saw that the creatures were glowing lightly before floating into the air and converged, and the glow faded away to reveal a single but much larger version of them. The creature raised its pickaxe and brought it down to unleash a much larger shockwave than the one seen before. Naruto quickly jumped out of the way just in time as the shockwave had left a large trench in its wake. Bigger is often better, but you know what they say. Naruto created a shadow clone and held his palm out to the clone as it started to weave its hands around it, and a blue spinning ball of energy slowly took shape and size. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Rasengan. Once the blue spinning sphere stabilized, Naruto dashed at creature and rammed it with the attack which sent it flying before crashing into one of the cube-shaped totems before disappearing like the rest. That was something. Now how did I get those shuriken when I don't have a ninja pouch on me? Naruto sheathed the blade and looked at his hand. He decided to try something and imagined himself holding a handful of shuriken. There was another flash of light before it faded and he was holding another handful of shuriken. I guess I can create shurikens just like with my shadow clones, but it seems like it drains a bit of my chakra whenever I do so. Now to resume checking this place out. Naruto resumed his walk through the area. After a few lefts and rights he came across something which stood out from what he was now familiar with. It was a small circular platform with a metallic outline and a glowing bright blue center. Naruto slowly but cautiously approached the platform. Then some sort of barrier surrounded the platform and a floating screen appeared before him with a matrix of circles and lines interconnecting with each other while shifting every now and then. How do I get past this barrier? Naruto looked at the diagram confusedly. He noticed that one of the circles were blinking and he was slowly beginning to understand. It seems like I'll have to trace it from the blinking circle to the end of the matrix. Let's see here. Naruto placed a finger on the blinking circle which reacted by glowing, then he trailed it through the line from one circle to another and would sometimes intersect with the circles. After a few more tracings, the barrier beeped several times before disappearing for him to pass through. Why was I able to understand that? It's as if I've been doing it for a long time. I think I'll ask Kurama later, thought Naruto as he stepped on the platform. Suddenly he felt as if his body was breaking apart bit by bit, but not in a painful way, before getting a feeling of being moved elsewhere. After what felt like a couple of seconds, Naruto felt himself coming back together. Naruto took a few steps forward and looked around to see that the environment looked a bit different from the previous one, with the area being colored blue, and saw more of those floating screens passing by. Then he looked up to see some sort of relic, which is a red circle with a black line running diagonally through the center, which ends in two triangles, all of which is surrounded by a gold ring Megaman's emblem spinning around. Naruto noticed some sort of window which was displaying something he was quite familiar with, the interior of a house, and he even saw several people sitting around and they seemed to be having some sort of conversation, so he tried to call out to them. "Hello. Can anyone hear me?" shouted Naruto. The people seemed to have heard him as they were looking around for the source of the voice. Great, now I can find out where I am and what's going on around here. In this new dimension, the people of the world had foregone the ways of using energies like chakra, chi, and magic but rather focused on technology which soon advanced to much higher levels to make their lifestyles to be much easier and more comfortable. In order for such luxuries to be easily accessed, there is a global system of interconnected computer network known as the Internet which has been integrated with almost every piece of equipment in existence, from televisions all the way to ovens. Things became so complicated that it required special programs called Internet Navigators or NetNavi for short to effectively process all of the data. In case you're wondering what a NetNavi is, then they're sentient or semi-sentient computer programs with artificial intelligence designed to help the people operating them called Internet operators or NETOPs for short. NetNavis often reside in their NETOP's personal terminal which is commonly known as PET. These PETs can be carried around and are also capable of connecting to computerized devices for the NetNavi to gain access to a place called the cyberspace of the targeted device. NetNavis also serve as combatants against offensive programs known as viruses whose purpose are to disrupt the cyber network of electronic devices with their NETOPs assisting by downloading special programs to help. However, there are some NetNavis also known as solo NetNavis who don't have a NETOP by either being abandoned or it could be the other way around, but there are a few that never had a NETOP to begin with and were alone since creation. As many people own a NetNavi of their own, it led to a popular competition called net battling where the NetNavis battle each other. It is quite the rage among the younger generation and one can find them having net battles in specialized areas like the arcades but is forbidden by law to have them anywhere else. In normal net battles, the defeated NetNavi is forced to return to their pets which is a term called logging out, but there are circumstances where a NetNavi is deleted permanently or in other words, killed, in a net battle. Now that you know most of what this world is all about, let us focus on a certain boy who goes by the name Lon Hikari lives in a town called ACDC within Dentech City as he sits at home with his friends and parents discussing about a very serious matter. So Dad, since we have the data, we should be able to bring Mega Man back, right? Asked Lon. Rebuilding Mega Man will require two key components, one is the data which we have and the second is Mega Man's frame which we don't have, his father known as Yuichiro Hikari. Frame? What's that? Think of it as a digital map of his structure. Well then where do we get it? Asked Lon. It can only be found at the Scilab's computer. Then let's go and get it. Lon looked ready to leave if his dad hadn't spoken out. Hold on Lon, as of now the Scilab's network cannot be accessed as all the channels have been jammed which prevents us from getting Mega Man's frame, said Dr. Hikari. But who would do such a thing? Asked Lon. It was Pharaoh Man. Pharaoh Man? Everyone snapped up in surprise as they were all familiar with the name. Pharaoh Man was the solo NetNavi who was responsible for deleting Land's NetNavi Mega Man. Yes, somehow he invaded Scilab's mainframe. He broke through the firewall and set his own security code. Once Pharaoh Man takes over the network in Scilab's, he'll take control over everything, said Dr. Hikari. Isn't there anything we can do? There has to be a way so that we can get Mega Man back, said Lon. If we break through the security code, then we may have a chance. First there are three important things that we'll be needing. First is a high-speed computer with the latest hacking software and a way to move it around with the computer and the vehicle having to be custom built. I can have 1 or 1,000 built today, all I have to do is just ask my dad as he has all the best technicians in the world working for him, said a young blonde-haired girl known as Yaya Ayano who is the daughter of Richard Ayano, the owner of Ayano Tech and one of the richest in the world. Her father is the owner of Ayano Tech so I'm sure that he'll help us, said the red-haired girl named Meilu who is a very close friend of Lon. That's great, I'll be sure to contact Mr. Ayano. The next thing we need are strong NetNavis to break the firewall and release the frame. We all have strong NetNavis so there's no problem there, said Meilu with Yai nodding in agreement. I'm ready when you are, said Dex, Lan's self-proclaimed rival. Me too, said Lan's recent friend Tori. You've gotten yourself some good friends while I was gone Lon, said Dr. Hikari with a smile. You're right about that Dad, Lon smiled in return. Hello. Can anyone hear me? Everyone jumped in surprise at the voice which just came out of nowhere and were looking for the source. Who said that? Said Yai confusedly. I'm over here, can you see me? They all traced the voice to a small device laying on the center table. It is blue with a sleek design and squarish with rounded edges and a larger piece attached to the bottom left corner as a grip. It also features a retractable cord meant for jacking in. This happens to be Lan's pet, which used to contain Megaman, but now someone else is inside and none are familiar with him. Everyone gathered at the screen of the pet to see who it was. It happens to be a boy with blonde spiky hair with 3 whisker-like marks on each cheek and wearing a headband which has a strange-looking spiral. He also wears a black spandex bodysuit with a chest plate over it which has a 9-tailed fox motif colored orange on the front and a red spiral which is located at the back, and a pair of fingerless gloves with metal plates on the backhands, and a pair of black sandals with shin guards. "I've never seen a NetNavi like him before," said Melu. "Me neither," said Dex. "Who are you and what are you doing in my pet?" asked Lon, being a bit apprehensive as Megaman's data is inside. "My name's Naruto Uzumaki. I was wandering in this weird-looking area when I saw a glowing circle and approached. But then some sort of barrier appeared. It took me a while but I was able to bypass, and when I stepped on the circle, I found my way here and called out to you guys," said Naruto. "That's quite impressive of you to be able to do that, Naruto. I personally set up that barrier to prevent anyone from gaining access to Lan's pet with my own unique coding," said Dr. Hikari. "Oh, then I'm sorry about trespassing. I just wanted to find out where I am," said Naruto sheepishly. "Hold on, what do you mean by that?" "Since you're a NetNavi then that means you should have an operator," said Tori confusedly. "I don't know what you mean by NetNavi or operator. I'm not exactly from around here." "Does that mean that you're a solo NetNavi?" asked Mela curiously. "From what you're telling me, I must be a NetNavi. But the thing is I'm human." Naruto's statement earned looks of surprise and shock among Lon and his friends, especially his dad. "How is it possible that you're a human and yet a NetNavi at the same time?" asked Dr. Hikari confusedly. "Well, the thing is that I'm actually from another dimension, but I fell through a dimensional rift and ended up here." "You're from another dimension?" asked Yae, to which Naruto nodded in affirmation. "Whoa dude, that totally sounds like one of my favorite cartoons on TV, said Dex in wonder. "As much I wish to learn more of your dimension, we're currently under a crisis at the moment," said Dr. Hikari seriously. "A crisis? Can you tell me about it?" Naruto asked curiously. "Well, it all started when my friends and I participated in the N1 Grand Prix, which is a battle tournament to see who is the best Netop and NetNavi. Megaman and I were able to advance all the way to the finals, where we went up against an elite net battler Chad Blaze and his NetNavi Protoman. It was one heck of match between us, and both of us even used a powerful technique called the Program Advance, but in the end Megaman and I lost the battle. Then Pharaoh Man came from out of nowhere and attacked. He was the one who deleted Megaman, but Dad told me that we can rebuild him by combining his data with the frame which is at the Scilab server, which Pharaoh Man is at right now, and preventing anyone from getting in," said Lon. Naruto was deep in thought after hearing what Lon said before finally speaking. "Sounds like a serious problem you guys are having. In that case I'll help you out." Lon and the others were surprised by what Naruto said. "But why would you want to help us?" asked Melu. "Well, I can tell that Megaman is someone whom you all care about, and this is the best for you to get him back, so I want to help. Besides, one doesn't need a reason to lend a hand to someone who needs it," said Naruto with a foxy grin, which made Yae and Mela think that he looks cute. "Thank you, Naruto, we're very grateful for your wanting to help us. Before we get started, you'll need to learn how to battle while in the cyberspace," said Dr. Hikari. "So how will we do that?" asked Naruto curiously. Dr. Hikari turned to Lon. "If it's okay with you, Lon, I would like to set up a link between Naruto and your pet." "Okay, but why?" asked Lon confusedly. "This way Naruto will be your temporal NetNavi until we get to Megaman's frame and reinstall his data." Dr. Hikari reached into the bag placed next to the chair he was sitting on and pulled out a laptop and a disk which he handed over to Lon. "This disk contains a couple of viruses which you can use to teach Naruto the ways of net battling and virus busting." "Okay Dad, go for it." Lon handed his pet over to Dr. Hikari, who plugged it into his laptop and proceeded to type in several codes at high speed. Then a loading bar appeared on the screen of the pet before making a ping sound to signal that it's complete. "Okay, the link up is successfully done. How do you feel, Naruto?" I feel a sense of connection in here, said Naruto. Then it means that the link is stable, keep in mind that it's only temporal. Okay Naruto, time to show you how we do things around here, said Lon. Bring it on Lon, I can handle it, said Naruto with a smirk. Lon walked over to the TV in the living room while Meilu and the others sat down to watch. Jack in. Naruto, power up. Lon pulled out the cord and plugged it into the jack-in port of the TV. Naruto felt himself transferred from the pet and reappear inside the cyberspace of the TV as he looked around the area. Okay Lon, I'm in, so let's get on with the training, said Naruto. Okay, I'm loading the disc. Lon slotted the disc into the TV and several creatures appeared before Naruto, most of which he recognized. Hey, I met these guys before on my way here, said Naruto as he took a fighting stance. These guys are what we call viruses, there are all kinds of them and can be everywhere messing up the system. These are called Meteor, let's see what you can do against them, said Lon. Gotcha, Naruto charged forwards with the face mask coming on and concentrated on his chakra towards his hands as a handful of kunai materialized into them, cyber kunai, then he threw the tools which made their mark as some of the Meteor were deleted with the rest charging at Naruto. He then crossed his middle and index fingers and created several shadow clones who then charged at the viruses before drawing out his chakra blade and joining in the fight as Lon and the rest watched awe at his skills. Whoa, dude is totally fighting like a ninja. I bet Gutsman and I can beat him with no sweat, said Dex. I wouldn't be so sure about that Dex, with that kind of skill set I doubt you'll even last a second, especially if you were to start using battle chips and get the hang of them, said Yae. Yae is right, he's moving at speeds which I'm sure would put Chad and Protoman on edge like when they went up against Lon and Megaman. I'm pretty sure that he would be more than a match for even the members of World 3, said Tori. But to think that a boy at his age could fight like that, it makes me wonder what sort of world he came from is like, said Dr. Hikari. Naruto slashed one of Meteor sheathing the chakra blade and leapt high into the air with a couple of shuriken materializing in his hands. Take this, cyber shuriken. He unleashed a shower of throwing stars towards the ground below as it pelted the remaining Meteor for them to disappear. Then Naruto landed with a smirk on his face. What do you think of that, Lon? Said Naruto. You're pretty strong, Naruto. I'm loading the next batch of viruses so that I can tell the next step of virus busting, said Lon. A seconds later another group of viruses appeared. These one's appearance is that of a ball with eyes, stubby feet, needle-like arms and a lightning bolt protruding out of the back of their head. These guys are called billies and they have the ability to shoot electric attacks, so you better watch yourself if you don't want to get shocked. Got it, so what's the next step? Asked Naruto as he focused on the viruses which were slowly approaching him. In a net battle or when virus busting, the operators send battle chips to their net novice which equips them with various weapons and defenses to help them defeat their opponents or net novice. I'm even about to send one over to you right now. Lon reached into his chip holster and took out a small chip which had a small picture on it, shotgun battle chip in, download, then he inserted the chip into the slot. Naruto felt something flow into him as he saw his right hand and forearm glow white before morphing into a small hand cannon, much to his surprise. How do I use it? Asked Naruto confusedly, then he jumped away to avoid a jolt from one of the billies. You simply take aim and then will it to fire, said Lon. Okay, Naruto pointed the hand cannon at the viruses and imagined in his mind that he's pulling an invisible trigger which seemed to have worked as the cannon began unleashed blue projectiles in a wide spread which took down a large number of viruses, though there are still some left. Whoa, that's pretty cool. There's more where that came from, Naruto. I'm sending another battle chip to you. Cyber sword battle chip in, download, said Lon before slotting in another chip which ejected the previous one. Naruto saw his hand morph again, this time into a sword hilt with a glowing blue blade. This shouldn't be any different from wielding my chakra blade or kunai. Naruto dashed forward as he slashed the viruses until there was none left in the cyberspace. There are other battle chips with many weapons or effects which will help you in battle. Aside from that, you're good to go. But you must be careful not to receive too much or you might get deleted, which in other words killed, said Lon. I've gotten the gist of it, so I'm all set now, said Naruto. Okay, I'm logging you out now, said Lon as he pulled out the plug and Naruto felt himself being transported back into the pet. So what do you guys think? Asked Naruto. With you helping us, we'll definitely be able to get Mega Man back, said Meilu. We really appreciate you helping us, said Yae. Yeah, said Tori. No problem, I'll be happy to help, said Naruto with a smile. Since you've gotten the hang of battling on the net, I've contacted Mr. Ayano and he'll soon be sending over the equipment that we need, said Dr. Hikari. Meanwhile, in another part of Dentech City, there is a complex which is known to many as Scilab. It is where all technological advancements like NetNavis and pets had originated from and is also the workplace of Lan's father. As of now, a group of scientists are attempting to gain access into the facility with the use of their hacking equipment, which is currently connected to the control panel on the wall. How's it looking? Asked one of the scientists. Another had been typing in many series of codes only to come with nothing as the panel continued to reject the codes and refuse access. I've got nothing, it's not accepting any of the override commands. Pharaoh Man seemed to have reprogrammed our security system to keep us out, the second scientist responded. I just got a call from Dr. Hikari, he's on his way here to help us with the situation, a third scientist spoke up while holding a cell phone. On the road, a dark green van was heading in direction of Scilab. Inside were Lon and the gang while Dr. Hikari is currently before a computer with multiple monitors and typing away as fast as he could. Dad, I've been wondering about what is so important about Scilab that Pharaoh Man would go there, asked Lon. I'm kinda curious about it myself, Hikari-san, said Naruto. The thing is that Pharaoh Man targeted Scilab because that is where the net was created. If he controls Scilab, then he controls everything which has a connection to the net. And it is also where I created Mega Man, said Dr. Hikari. Which explains why his frame is there, said Lon with a look of realization. As of now the system is locked, but I happen to know another way in. I should be able to get the NetNavis into Scilab's external jack-in terminal. Once we located Mega Man's frame, then it will be up to you to upload his data. You got it, said Lon looking determined. Dr. Hikari, we're almost at Scilab's, said Yae, who was sitting at the passenger seat. Very well then. Upon arriving at the complex, Dr. Hikari and the scientists had brought out the equipment from the van and set up an external link into the Scilab's network. I'm about to input the final code, is everyone ready? Asked Dr. Hikari. We're all set. Lon with the others nodding in affirmation. Then you're all clear to jack in. Okay guys, let's do this, said Lon as he took out the cord from his pet with the others doing the same, jack in. Naruto, power up. Jack in. Roll, power up, said Meilu. Jack in. Glide, power up, said Yae. Jack in. Guts Man, power up, said Dex. Jack in. Iceman, power up, said Tori. Naruto felt himself being transferred through the data stream and even sensed others close by as well. Meanwhile, Dr. Hikari was typing in the codes to hack open portal after portal for the NetNavis to go through. Get ready, once you all pass through the final portal then you'll be in the Scilab mainframe, said Dr. Hikari. Naruto looked ahead to see himself heading towards a bright light and got ready for entry, then he opened his eyes and looked around to see that he was standing in some sort of desert. This must be Pharaoh Man's work, thought Naruto, then he heard someone approach from behind and turned to see that the NetNavis of Lan's friends had shown up. The first is a female with her armor being a bodysuit type with a mixture of the colors red, pink and black highlighting different parts of her body. Attached to her helmet is a pair of transparent, ribbon-like antennae that curve behind her when considered with the button on her backside which could give the appearance of a bunny, and she also has a long blonde ponytail with a green ribbon. The second is a male with a large stature and muscular with the upper body hunched over to give the appearance of a gorilla. His armor is of a thick armor type with chest plate, gauntlets and boots being made of steel, and has a mixture of the colors yellow, red and black. Third is a male who reaches the same height of the first with his armor being a bodysuit type with a mixture of colors of gold, bronze, white and black highlighting different parts of his body with a pair of white wings at his back. Naruto got the feeling that this isn't much of a fighting type but rather that of a servant. The last is a male who is very small and has a childlike appearance. He wears a mint green snow suit with white fleecy cuffs and ankles, and a matching winter hat on his head and wearing a pair of brown mittens and winter boots. "It's nice to meet you, my name is Roll and Melu is my operator," said the pink girl. "My name Guts Man, Dex my operator," said the large guy. "It is a pleasure to meet, my name is Glide and Miss Yi happens to be my MSTRS and operator," said the tall man. "The name's Iceman and Tori is my operator," said last one. "It's nice to meet you all, the name's Naruto Uzumaki," said Naruto with a smile. "I'm sending someone over who can help guide you to Megaman's frame," said Dr. Hikari as he types in a code before hitting the enter button. Then Naruto and the others saw a hole appear before them and something popped out for them to see. It was a brown bipedal dog, although it looked like it could walk on all fours as well and wears a red collar. The dog barked a few times before it jumped out of the hole, which disappeared and leapt into Roll's arms and started to lick her cheeks, which made her giggle. "Ah, who's this little cutie?" asked Roll while cuddling the puppy. "This here is Rush, I programmed the location of Megaman's frame into him so he'll be the one to lead you straight to it." "That dog is leader," Gutsman grumbled. "Got it, okay Rush lead the way," said Naruto. Rush barked in response before jumping of Roll's arms and was walking ahead of them. The group proceeded to follow in hopes that they would locate the frame and restore Megaman before figuring out a plan to stop Pharaoh Man once and for all. Meanwhile, in the deepest part of the Scilab mainframe, there is a large pyramid, and inside it a pair of glowing red eyes peered through the darkness and let out a dark chuckle. "It seems like I have some trespassers in my kingdom, I might as enjoy their futile endeavors before ending their lives." As they traveled through the cyberspace with Rush leading them towards their destination, Naruto and the gang looked around their surroundings in awe as well as disapproval of the place. "Something tells me that the Scilab cyberspace isn't supposed to look like this in the first place," said Naruto. "Indeed it isn't, Naruto, the cyberspace has been changed due to Pharaoh Man's influence. I speculate that defeating him will revert it back to normal," said Dr. Hikari. "Yeah, but first things first, we need to bring Megaman back," said Lon. "No worries Lon, I did promise to help you get your buddy back," said Naruto. "Thanks Naruto," Naruto simply gave him a fox-like grin. "Hey! Don't forget that we're helping too," said Yae. "Sorry about that Yae," said Lon sheepishly. The group continued across the many sand dunes when suddenly something burst out from underneath the sands before diving back in. Naruto caught a glimpse and saw that it was fish-like in appearance with blue scales and fins, and swung its arms in a propeller-like fashion. There happened to be a group of them as they opened their mouths wide and tri-pronged arrows shot out towards them. "Guys, heads up." Naruto dashed to position in front of them before drawing out his chakra blade, then he used it to deflect the incoming projectiles away from the group before the viruses dove back into the sand. "Thanks for the help Naruto, those guys are piranha viruses and they can be pretty annoying," said Iceman. "I can tell, we need to get them out of the sand before we can fillet them," said Naruto, sheathing the blade although he noticed that it was glowing a bit. "Don't worry guys, I got this." Guts hammer battle chip in, download. Dex slotted a chip into his pet. Guts. Gutsman's hand glowed blue before morphing into a hammer. He raised it into the air before bringing it down to slam on the ground, which discharged a shockwave powerful enough to flush out the piranha viruses and knock them into the air. "Now's our chance, Glide Cannon." Glide's hand transformed into an arm cannon and proceeded to shot at the virus. "Use this Naruto." Shotgun battle chip in, download. Lon quickly inserted a battle chip into the slot of the pet, then Naruto's arm morphed into a cannon which he took aim at his targets and opened fire, making their mark and successfully deleting the viruses. "Awesome teamwork guys." "Thank you for the compliment," said Glide. "You too," said Gutsman. "That was great, but you've got to keep moving. The longer you're there, the worse the attacks will be," said Dr. Hikari. "Okay Hikari-san, we'll get moving then," said Naruto. With that said, the group continued through the desert without any further encounters with viruses. Suddenly a voice spoke to Naruto from out of nowhere to his surprise, and it seems like the others didn't hear it. "Even when you're in another dimension, you still manage to get yourself in crazy situations, said the voice. Who said that, thought Naruto while looking around. Who else do you think this is, Kit? Kurama, is that you? How are you able to talk to me like this? I was able to slightly tweak the seal which will allow me to talk to you without me needing to bring you into the mindscape, said Kurama. Sounds pretty convenient, guess that means you know what's going on then. Yeah, this Pharaoh Man reminds me of those self-centered humans who think that the world revolves around them. Also, I've noticed something else, it's about your chakra blade. Now that you mention it, I've noticed that it glows whenever I use it. I have reason to believe that you can channel your chakra into the blade to make it longer and sharper, and I also noticed that it absorbs a small amount of your chakra and stores it away. Is it something harmful? Asked Naruto. I doubt it, since the blade was created for you when you arrived in this dimension like the rest of your gear. Got it, we'll figure it out as we move on, Naruto snapped out of his thoughts when he heard Iceman speak out. Hey guys, what's that heading this way? Asked Iceman. They all looked ahead to see large tornadoes of sand moving straight towards them. It's a sandstorm, and a rather big one. But where could it have come from? Said Roll confusedly. I don't know, but brace yourselves, shouted Naruto. Everyone laid on the ground and prepared to endure the incoming storm as the violent winds carrying clouds of dust or sand passed through them. This is quite the predicament, we can barely do a thing with this sandstorm in the way, said Glide. But there has to be something we can do, I can't help but feel helpless here, said Roll. Suddenly Rush squirmed out of her grip and took a few steps forward. Rush, where are you going? A black hole appeared before Rush and then a meteor popped out of it, much to their surprise since it didn't attack them immediately. How is he able to do that? Said Iceman confusedly. They must understand each other, said Glide. That must be Rush's friend if it didn't attack us like the other viruses, said Naruto. Gutsman confused, said Gutsman. It looks like our canine friend here has a plan, said Roll. Rush barked in affirmation before jumping into the hole with the meteor as it closed up. Another hole opened up elsewhere for Rush to jump out of, then he found himself standing behind a group of viruses. They resembled large red industrial fans on 4 legs with wing-like fins, and have odd SWCH mechanisms jutting from their backs. These viruses are known as fanners, and they're currently ones being the cause of the sandstorm as the fans are spinning at high speed. Rush barked a few times and meteors started to pop out of the hole one after the other before positioning themselves behind the fanners. Rush barked once more as if commanding to attack, with the meteor bringing their pickaxes down on the ground to create shockwaves that raced towards the fanners, which took them down. Without them producing the violent winds, the sandstorm dissipated, much to the relief of Naruto and the others, with Rush running towards them after sending away his virus friends. Thanks for the help, buddy, said Naruto. Good boy Rush, you were amazing, said Roll. Hey Naruto, can you hear me? Asked Lon. Yeah, what's up? Asked Naruto. We had lost communication with you when that sandstorm hit, now that it's gone the communication is back online, said Dr. Hikari. We have Rush to thank for dealing with our weather problems, so we're good to go, said Naruto. That's good, 'cause you still have a long way to go. Then the group resumed their journey until stopping before some sort of ancient ruins where they saw a staircase which led downwards. They descended down the stairs as it led them deeper inside until entering an underground passage. I think that this might be it, said Glide. He was correct with that statement as they stopped before a metallic door with Rush barking at them. Hikari-san, have we come to the right place? Asked Naruto. Yes, Megaman's frame is right behind that door, said Dr. Hikari. Everyone let out a cheer upon hearing that. In that case, I'll run a scan and decode the password. Glide walked up to a control panel next to the door and tapped the keypad a few times. That's quite strange, it is a 1-digit passcode. He pressed a button and the doors slid open with a bright light temporarily blinding them as they entered. Inside, Naruto and the others heard Rush barking and turned to see the puppy standing in front of a large glass capsule where blue blocks of data moved around inside of it. I'm guessing that's the frame, said Lon. Yes, and it seems to be in good condition. Now's the time to reinstall Megaman's data. But first we'll have to sever the link between Naruto and your pet, said Dr. Hikari. Well Naruto, it was fun while it lasted, said Lon. Yeah, maybe next time, said Naruto. Actually, Naruto reminded me of a certain project which we worked on a year in Scilabs but was put on suspension due to certain issues, but with Naruto's unique status, I'm sure that he can utilize it to its full potential, said Dr. Hikari. What's the project about, Dad? Asked Lon curiously. We can talk about it later, after all this is over. Dr. Hikari pressed a few buttons on Lan's pet before a beep is heard, then he pulled out the plug as Naruto remained where he is without returning to the pet. There, it's been done. Now you can jack in with Mega Man now. Okay Dad, jack in Mega Man, power up. Lon plugged in his pet once again with the emblem disappearing as it's being transferred into the frame. That's good, now all we have to do is wait for the frame blocks to reconfigure. Everyone watched as the blue blocks shifted and merged together before slowly taking on a humanoid shape and becoming clearer in detail until finally showing a form familiar to Lon and the others but new to Naruto. So this guy is Mega Man, said Naruto as he marveled at the restored NetNavi. He wears an indigo bodysuit with cyan stripes running down his sides and ending at his blue boots which are tipped with black soles. He has 2 yellow shoulders guards and wears a blue helmet with 2 ridges running along the top before coming to a stop at the base. Naruto speculated that he has dark hair which is sticking out in 4 spikes, however he took note that the emblems are completely blacked out. It seems like he's sleeping. Hey Mega Man. Wake up. Lon called out but received no response. Mega Man's frame is quite complex, it has to defragment itself before becoming fully operational, said Dr. Hikari. But how long is that going to take? Asked Dex. I'm not sure but we're just going to have to give him some time. Time which I'm sure we don't have. I get the feeling that Pharaoh Man knows we're here, said Naruto. Gutsman feels nervous when you say that now, said Gutsman. Suddenly the room began to quake and the glass on the capsule had cracks on it while everyone tried to keep their balance. What on earth is that? Said Iceman worriedly. Kit, I sense a powerful source heading this way, said Kurama. Then they heard Dark chuckling and looked to see a hologram of someone resembling an Egyptian sarcophagus with wings on his back and his arms crossed. That's Pharaoh Man, said Lon. So this guy is the source of all this trouble, said Naruto, his hand inching towards his chakra blade. You fools actually thought that you sneak into my kingdom to rescue this pathetic NetNavi. I might as well show you the futility of challenging me. Grovel before the supremacy of Pharaoh Man, said the evil solo NetNavi. The quaking got worse and the room suddenly transformed into an underground cave. The glass capsule tipped over and crashed, leaving Mega Man prone on the ground. Oh no, Mega Man, said Lon worriedly. Things got worse as a long crack formed between them and broke open to reveal a ravine where one can't even see the bottom. Roll was about to move towards Mega Man when Gutsman grabbed her by the arm to hold her back. Roll, stop, said Gutsman. But I have to help him. Roll protested. No, Roll will get hurt, Gutsman can't let that happen. Naruto stepped forward. I'll get him, we've come too far just to back down now. He quickly dashed forward and once he got to the edge, he pumped chakra to his feet to boost his leap across the ravine and managed to land on the other side. Naruto ran over to Mega Man and carried him over his shoulder. Naruto, hurry, the place is going to collapse any minute from now, shouted Glide. Hang on, I'm coming. Naruto took a few steps back before running forward and taking another leap to the other side. He was halfway through the jump when he heard Roll call out to him in alarm. Naruto, watch out, above you, she yelled. Naruto sharply looked up only to see a large boulder falling from above before it crashed into them, plummeting them into the dark abyss below, much to the others' horror. Naruto, Mega Man. Roll called out in despair, unaware that another boulder was falling towards her. Roll, get out of the way. Gutsman rushed forward and caught the boulder but could barely hold it up. Gutsman, what are you doing? Glide, Iceman, get Roll out of here, can't hold Rock back much longer, said Gutsman. We've got to get out of here. Iceman grabbed Roll's arm and pulled her away despite protest. But we can't leave him here, said Roll. You have to go, Gutsman, done anyway, goodbye roll, sorry Dex, Guts Man finally gave in to the weight of the boulder and got crushed underneath in blue pixels. Guts Man no, yelled Dex amidst tears. Mega Man. Naruto, can you hear us? Please respond. Lon called out through his pet and received nothing but static. First Mega Man, then Naruto, and now Guts Man. This isn't fair, said Yae sadly. Ha 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 ha. All shall fall before the might of the ultimate NetNavi. Pharaoh Man laughed out loud before the hologram faded away. Roll, Glide and Iceman ran through the tunnel and back up the staircase before finally making it back to the surface before turning around to look back and remember what had just happened. We came all this way only to lose 2 more of our friends, this bites much more than a frostbite, Iceman spoke sadly. It appears that your rescue mission has failed. Everyone turned in anger to the source of the voice and saw a slight distortion in the atmosphere before it cleared to reveal Pharaoh Man, now bow before me. We're not bowing to anyone. Especially you. Roll yelled angrily. You fools, for defying the power of Pharaoh Man, you shall share the same fate of your fallen comrades, said Pharaoh Man. He sensed something moving towards him at high speed and willed an obelisk to rise from underground as it blocked the projectile which exploded upon impact. Now who dares to invade my sacred ground? That would be us. Everyone turned to look up the top of a tall hill. Roll and others instantly recognized who they are. The first is a humanoid NetNavi bearing chest armor, arm guards, and boots which are all colored orange. His face guard protrude forwards away from the face and the helmet bearing a thick ridge from the top all the way to the base. What is mostly noted would be the black spherical-shaped bombs with lit fuses attached to the shoulders, and the emblem on his chest depicts an explosion. The second NetNavi appears to be some sort of rock golem with most of his body detached. The cylindrical arms float near each side of the rectangular-shaped body and the feet in the shape of ellipses position underneath both of them, and his emblem depicts a white cube. The most surprising thing is that both NetNavis each have a multitude of clones by their side. It's Bomb Man and Stoneman, said Iceman in surprise. I wish to extend my congrats, cause you're going to be Dr. Wily's ultimate NetNavi, said Bomb Man. How dare you? I am ruled by no one, said Pharaoh Man angrily. Well, my friends and I say that you're wrong, O Great One. Then you and your friends shall pay the ultimate price. Meanwhile Naruto and Mega Man are currently falling down a pit and are yet to reach the bottom of the abyss. And here I thought that I would never have to experience this again, ever since Pervy Sage threw me off the cliff the first time, shouted Naruto. And this time there are no toads for you to summon, so you better think of something fast, kid, said Kurama. I know, I'm making it up as I go. Naruto thought quickly, then he grabbed Mega Man in one arm and took out the chakra blade. He channeled chakra to the blade and the soles of his sandals. He angled himself towards one of the walls before stabbing the blade and digging his feet onto the walls. Sparks flew from the blade and Naruto struggled to maintain his grips on both Mega Man and the blade as the speed of the descent was slightly reduced. I hope I don't tear my arm out from this, Naruto grunted out as they slid down in at much more comfortable speeds. You better hold for a little while longer, we'll be sure to arrive at the bottom soon, said Kurama, to which Naruto simply grunted in affirmation. Sure enough, they finally reached the bottom of the hole as Naruto dropped out of it and landed on a rock ledge before setting Mega Man down and massaged his mildly sore arm. Now that we finally reached the bottom, we need to figure out a way to get back to the surface and meet up with the others. It feels like an over in here. Naruto looked around and his eyes widened in surprise upon what his surroundings comprised of. At this moment, Naruto and Mega Man are on a ledge with rivers of hot lava flowing below. I think we literally fell out of the frying pan and into the fire. If you're done making witty comments, you better get off the ledge before you both fall into the lava and get cooked, which includes me, said Kurama. I know that, we all want to stay alive. Naruto picked up Mega Man and leapt off the ledge right before it collapsed and fell into the lava, melting from the intense heat. Back with Roll and her friends, they watched with apprehension as the clones of Bomb Man and Stoneman had them along with Pharaoh Man completely surrounded with their attacks at the ready. Elsewhere in Hidden Base, an old man watches everything on a holographic screen with eyes of greed and smiled evilly. This man is none other than Dr. Wily, who is the leader of WWW, an evil crime syndicate set on taking over the world through the internet. This is perfect. Not only will I soon be the MSTR of the ultimate NetNavi, but I can also get rid of those pesky net novice. You may now attack, said Dr. Wily evilly. Attack! Bombman and Stoneman shouted at the same time. Guys, get them out of there, said Lon. Area Steel Battle Chip in, download. Melu, Yai, and Tori inserted the chips in simultaneously. The three net novice warped out of the way right as the Bombman copies fired missiles and the Stoneman copies launched laser beams at Pharaoh Man, who would have smirked if he had a mouth. You fools dare to believe that you could defeat me, said Pharaoh Man. The incoming attacks landed on their target, which resulted in a massive explosion. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, said Bombman. That doesn't look good, said Iceman. Roll and the others watched from a safe distance in surprise at what had just happened. I doubt that even Pharaoh Man would have survived an attack of that magnitude, said Glide. The smoke from the explosion cleared only to reveal Pharaoh Man encased in a blue barrier without so much as a scratch on him and laughing darkly, much to the shock of everyone watching. How invigorating! Now I will teach you the true meaning of supreme power. A small ball of yellow light appeared of Pharaoh Man before firing a laser beam which spun around in a full 360 degrees. Bombman and Stoneman quickly moved out of the way, but their copies weren't lucky as they all got deleted from the attack. Bow before me, you pathetic weaklings. Won't this guy go down, said Stoneman fearfully. I'm out of here, said Bombman. Both net novice immediately logged out of there. Everyone, you need to get out of there now, said Dr. Hikari. Roll and the others complied as they ran across the desert and away from Pharaoh Man, but then something burst out of the sand in front of them and it was revealed to be a grey sarcophagus. Now what is he up to, said Roll. Suddenly the eyes of the statue flashed brightly, turning Glide into a stone statue. I give you eternal life as a statue, said Pharaoh Man darkly. Oh no, Glide, said Iceman. Hurry out of there. Melu called out, but she was too late with her warning as the sarcophagus flashed once more, turning them into stone statues. Our net novice. Yai spoke sadly, with the others feeling the same way. If only Megaman were here, I'm sure that even Naruto is still alive to help us like he promised, said Lon. Hold on, I'm getting reading that there are 3 novice on the net and they're heading for the Scilab security system, said Dr. Hikari. But why there? Asked Lon. I think I know what they're up to. I can guess that they seek to access the Scilab's main computer and shut down, which will in turn stop Pharaoh Man in his tracks. I get it now, and it might be just the thing to help bring Megaman and Naruto back. Then let's lend them a helping hand. Dr. Hikari tapped rapidly on the keyboard in order to put up a communication line to the 3 unknown novice. Naruto was currently running along the cliff walls with chakra emitting from his soles before jumping off and landing on another ledge and frantically looked around. What was that all about? One moment everything went black before going back to normal, said Naruto confusedly. I don't know, kid, but haven't you found a way out yet? Asked Kurama. So far my best idea is to use the rasengan to burrow our way back up to the surface, said Naruto. Then hurry, as of now we don't know what's going on and need to find out what happened. Naruto landed on a much more stable ledge and was about to put Megaman down before creating some shadow clones for his next plan of action when there was a sudden rumbling coming from the cave's ceiling, then a red spinning tornado burst through and landed on a ledge nearby before dissipating to reveal a NetNavi. This NetNavi dons red chest armor, gloves, and boots. He wears a stylized helmet with a black visor, a white face guard, and a white circle surrounding a horn protruding from the top, while long silver hair reaching the waist flows out from the base of the helmet. The NetNavi's emblem depicts a circle split with a thunderbolt pattern into 2 black and white sections, which can be seen on his chest and gloves. Who are you? Asked Naruto, feeling a bit tense. The name's Protoman, said the red Navi. Naruto's eyes widened in recognition. Protoman. You must be the Navi who went up against Megaman in the N1 Grand Prix and he sacrificed himself to save you. Protoman nodded in affirmation. Yeah, I owe him. If it weren't for the kid I wouldn't be here. Which brings me to ask, who are you? The name's Naruto Uzumaki, but let's save the rest for later and focus on getting out of here. Okay then, this way. Protoman crossed his arms and started spinning quickly to form the red tornado again before rising towards the ceiling drilling through. Naruto carrying Mega Man leapt through the hole after him as they ascended until finally reaching the surface. Good one, Protoman, but can you tell what's going on since I fell down the pit? A few minutes ago, Dr. Hikari and a trio of net novice had shut down the power of the Scilab's main computer. They succeeded, but Pharaoh Man managed to start it back up, and now he commandeered a Scilab satellite and set it on a crash course towards which could possibly kill hundreds of civilians, and we only have 10 minutes before impact. That Navi has definitely gone mad with power, just like Uchiha Madara. Kurama growled angrily at the memory. Then we need to take him down quickly, said Naruto. Protoman, and the unknown NetNavi, Naruto, and Protoman traced Pharaoh Man's voice to a black pyramid just a short distance away. As much as I don't want to leave Mega Man behind, we have no time to lose. Naruto drew out his chakra blade. Let's go, you two. Long sword battle, chip in, download. A boy's voice rang out before Protoman's right arm morphed into a sword hilt with a glowing red blade. Both looked at each other and nodded at the same time before dashing towards the pyramid. An army of viruses being piranhas, flappies, handies and megallions appeared and charged at them. Get out of our way, Cyber Shuriken. Naruto conjured a handful of the throwing stars and flung them at the viruses, deleting them while Protoman weaved in and out of the way and slashing the rest into pixels, with Naruto soon joining in with his chakra blade, which was glowing even brighter than before. Naruto flipped into the air and, as if driven by instinct, actually threw the chakra blade, which cut through more of the viruses before returning to him like a boomerang as he caught it by the handle. Whoa, that was pretty cool. Never thought it could do that, Naruto murmured, looking at the blade in awe. Don't get distracted, kid, we're running against the clock here, said Kurama. Oh right, sorry about that. The duo dashed up a long flight of stairs, all the while deleting any viruses that stood in there until reaching the top, where they ran through a hallway before entering what seems to be a throne room, cause they're seeing Pharaoh Man standing on a slightly raised platform at the center of the room. Well done, there's something very special about the two of you, especially you, said Pharaoh Man looking at Naruto. I can sense immense power within you. I know where you're going with this, so let me just tell you that there's no way that I'll be joining you in your crazy ambitions, said Naruto. The same could be said for me, said Protoman. Why throw away such a golden opportunity and face me when you know that I could so easily defeat you, said Pharaoh Man. You'll never know unless you try, Cyber Kunai. Naruto conjured a handful of said weapons and threw them at Pharaoh Man. Pathetic. Pharaoh Man's eyes glowed for a moment, then the kunai froze in midair before turning around and shot back at Naruto and Protoman, much to their surprise, before deflecting with a kunai and long sword respectively. Protoman dashed forward and swung his sword at Pharaoh Man, but it seems like it impacted on some sort of invisible barrier before being blown back and crashing on the ground with a pained grunt. Look, it's Protoman and Naruto, said Meilu as she and the others watched from the monitors. And they're taking on Pharaoh Man, said Tori. We all know how strong Protoman is, but I'm worried about Naruto since he's no longer connected to my pet, so I can't send any battle chips to him, said Lan. Naruto ran in as he crossed his middle and index fingers and called out, Shadow Clone Jutsu. There were several puffs of smoke before it cleared away to reveal a squad of clones who ran alongside the original. The first two clones pulled ahead of the others while creating kunai in each hand and lashed out at Pharaoh Man. Another pair of clones leapt high into the air and flung a barrage of shuriken. Begone, you annoying insects! Pharaoh Man unleashed a yellow shockwave that impacted with the clones and sent them crashing into walls before disappearing in puffs of smoke. None of your petty attacks can touch me. Fire sword battle, chip in, download. The unknown boy slotted a chip into his pet. Protoman's blade changed into an orange one and heat could be felt radiating from it. Protoman dashed forward once more and slashed at Pharaoh Man, only to hit another barrier. He refused to back down by repeatedly slashing the barrier, but was unable to leave so much as a scratch on it. Damn it, I can't break through it. One side, Protoman, I'm coming in. Protoman turned around and saw Naruto along with a clone running towards them. The thing is that Naruto appears to be holding a blue spinning ball in the palm of his hand while the clone wove its hands around it. Protoman was momentarily stunned at the sight but complied nonetheless as he leapt to the side right as Naruto drew close. Let's see your barrier block this, Rasengan. The clone disappeared into a puff of smoke as he moved the spinning sphere forward and made contact with the barrier. At first nothing happened but Pharaoh Man's eyes widened upon seeing cracks appearing with Naruto pushing harder to break. Whoa, that small ball is actually breaking through Pharaoh Man's barrier, they should be able to win this, said Dex. Maybe so, but they only have 5 minutes until the satellite crashes into Dentek City, said Dr. Hikari. Protoman, get ready to attack once he breaks through the barrier, said the boy. Got it, said Protoman in affirmation. More cracks had appeared on the barrier with Naruto almost breaking through when Pharaoh Man glared at him before thrusting his arms forward to unleash another shockwave, knocking Naruto back away from as he recovered in midair and skidded backwards before stopping next to Protoman. You worms shall see how weak you are compared to me, said Pharaoh Man, then his eyes glowed bit before beams shot out towards them. Naruto and Protoman dodged left and right to avoid the beams as they destroyed the pillars and walls around them. Suddenly Pharaoh Man sensed something moving towards him from behind and emitted a pulse of energy to deflect it. It turns out to be the chakra blade which ricocheted from the impacted and was sent flying back to Naruto, who caught it with a frown. Damn it, I thought I could get him from behind without him being aware, Naruto growled in frustration. And we're running out of time, said Protoman. Then Pharaoh Man levitated before them laughing all the way. I'm impressed since you both lasted longer than I thought. Consider it an honor to be deleted by me. He prepared to launch another one of his attacks when suddenly a beam shot between them without warning. Back off, a voice spoke out. Everyone turned to see a black human-shaped silhouette standing on the opening of a large hole. Who are you? Pharaoh Man demanded. Maybe this will refresh your memory. The dark silhouette leapt off the hole and landed close, allowing everyone to see much clearly and recognize who it is. I'm back. It's Mega Man, said Protoman in surprise. It's about time you woke up, Sleeping Beauty, Naruto smirked. But how? I deleted you, shouted Pharaoh Man. I think it's time for a little payback, Protoman. Let's show him what we can do, said Mega Man. What do you mean? Asked Protoman. He means the double program advance, said the boy. Yeah, what do you say, Chad? Asked Lon through the pet. Sounds like a plan, the boy now known as Chad replied. Might as well stand back and enjoy the show, but I'll be there to back you guys up just in case, said Naruto before taking a few steps back. Program advance. Lon, Chad along with their NetNavi spoke at the same time. Cyber Sword Battle Chip in, download. Both boys slotted the same chip with Mega Man and Protoman's right arms morphing into blades. Wide Sword Battle Chip in, download. This time it was their left arms transforming into a blade with a wide hilt. Long Sword Battle Chip in, download. Then they raised both blades into the air as they merged into a single purple blade. That's quite interesting. Merging 3 techniques into a single attack must be what the program advance is about, said Kurama. I can't wait to do something like that, thought Naruto. I'll delete you all for good. Pharaoh Man held his arms forward before firing a large beam of energy at them. I don't think so. Mega Man and Protoman swung their attacks as they launched forward and sliced through the beam and slammed into Pharaoh Man, engulfing him in a bright light much to his shock. No! Pharaoh Man cried out in agony. Suddenly the whole place began to quake and bits of rocks fell from the ceiling. Hey guys, the place is going down, so we better get out of here, said Naruto. Okay, let's go, said Mega Man. Then the trio ran out of the pyramid and made it out before the whole place completely collapsed. It was at that moment when all the system in Scilabs became accessible once more with Pharaoh Man's interference. Now to stop that satellite. Dr. Hikari tapped rapidly on the computer and everybody watched as the monitor displaying the Earth's atmosphere showing that the satellite slowed to a stop before returning to orbit, much to everyone's joy. In the Scilab cyberspace, the group watched the sands disappear from their surroundings, signifying that everything was going back to the way it was before. Looks like everything getting back to normal, said Naruto. Yeah, by the way, I haven't thanked you and Protoman for saving me back there. I owe you one, said Megaman. It was nothing, I just wanted to help, said Naruto with a foxy grin. You don't owe me anything, I was just doing what I was told to do, said Protoman. Megaman, I'm so glad that you're back, said Lon happily. He and the others had entered the Scilabs completely for him to jack in. Hey, I'm happy to be back thanks to all of you, said Megaman. Since we're all done here, let's get out of Dash. Naruto began to speak, then something burst out of the rubble from behind them. They turned around only to be shocked to see Pharaoh Man hovering above them. What is it about bad guys and their tendency to not stay down for long periods of time? I wonder about that sometimes, said Megaman. Ha 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 ha, nice try, but it will take more than that to defeat me, said Pharaoh Man haughtily. Then some sort of black hole appeared in the sky above as two beams of light descended and faded away to reveal Bomb Man and Stoneman. He's been weakened, take him now, said Dr. Wily gleefully. Bomb Man and Stoneman held their arms as ropes made out of blue data shot out from them and wound around Pharaoh Man, then rose up towards the black hole. Come to me, Pharaoh Man. No, wait. Megaman leapt into the black hole in pursuit. Hold up, Megaman. Naruto also jumped inside as well. Where did they go? Asked Dex. I don't know, said Lon. Megaman and Naruto found themselves standing in an unknown cyberspace. Neither of them had any time to think as they quickly leapt out of the way to avoid a giant cube made of stone. You brats have made a big mistake coming here, said Stoneman. I hope you're ready to be blown away, said Bomb Man. In the hallway of the hideout, Dr. Wily looked greedily at the hologram of Pharaoh Man. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Wily and I have an offer to make. Swear your eternal allegiance to me and I will restore your corrupted data. What? You expect me to bow to the whims of a lowly human? Never, said Pharaoh Man angrily. You may be the ultimate program, but you're still only a NetNavi. Your true power can only if you serve under me, so do as I command. Never. Meanwhile, Naruto and Megaman were avoiding large rocks from Stoneman and bombs from Bomb Man, with Naruto using the Cyber Shuriken to take them out from a distance and attacking back with the Cyber Kunai, and Megaman is using his Mega Buster to fight back. I hope that you get a kick out of this. Bomb Man did just as he launched his bombs straight at them. Cyber Shuriken plus Chakra Blade Boomerang. Naruto conjured a handful of throwing stars before drawing out his chakra blade and throwing them together. The projectiles were able to take out the bombs while the spinning blade sped forward and inflicted a cut on Bomb Man's torso before returning into Naruto's grip. He wanted to follow up with his clones and get close, but the bombs would keep them at bay. Kurama, can I use your chakra to take them down even if just a little? Not yet, remember that you're still recovering from the dimensional rift, so you're on your own, said Kurama. Darn it, there's gotta be something I can use to turn the tide. We have a problem, I can't download any battle chips from here to help them out, said Lon worriedly along with the others. There's no need to worry, just activate the style change, said Dr. Hikari. Style change? It's a program that will increase his strength without battle chips, just punch in the new data command. Lon did as instructed, then a red symbol appeared on the screen of his pet and he pressed a button to start up the program. Heat Gut Style Activate. A red dome appeared around Megaman, causing everyone to look at him, then it faded away to reveal Megaman in a different form. His blue bodysuit had changed to red and there is a large fist attached to his right arm. Whoa, you can really make someone say, ow, with that arm, said Naruto with a smirk. Yeah baby, I can't wait to try this thing, said Megaman. Get crushed you little pipsqueak, rock cube. Stoneman raised his arms into the air as a large cubical rock appeared before being launched at Megaman, who reared his large fist back and moved forward with a straight punch which shattered it, much to Stoneman's shock. Hey kid, there's something up with your blade, said Kurama. Naruto looked at the chakra blade in his hand and noticed that the Konoha symbol was glowing. Feeling a bit curious, he tapped on the symbol only for the blade to suddenly surge with chakra as it took on the form of an elongated sword. What's going on? Asked Naruto confusedly. It seems like the blade is releasing all of the chakra it had absorbed to the point of overflowing, said Kurama. Overflowing, huh? I think that's what I'll call it, the overflow state, Naruto smirked. So what that your sword is doing weird stuff, that doesn't change anything. Bomb Man launched a barrage of bombs from his shoulders at his opponent. Naruto turned around and swung his blade, which launched a wave of chakra that sliced through all of the bombs before continuing onwards to cut off Bomb Man's arm, much to his shock as data leaked out of it. Yes, it does. He swung rapidly to fire a barrage of waves to slice off the remaining limbs, then gripping the chakra blade with both hands and rearing back. Take this, overslash. He swung it forward to launch a large wave of chakra that completely engulfed Bomb Man and instantly deleted him. Naruto looked at the blade to see that it is back to the way it was. I guess that new technique uses all of the chakra stored within, better keep that in mind. Mega Man was currently giving Stoneman a really hard time in their battle. Time to end this. Then his right arm morphed into a long rectangular white cannon. It charged up in a matter of seconds before firing a massive beam that obliterated Stoneman from the cyberspace. I am the king of the cybernet, I will rule the entire universe, shouted Pharaoh Man. I will control you, you're a Navi, said Dr. Wily. No human will ever control me, I'd rather be deleted. Then so be it. Pharaoh Man's eyes glowed brightly, then all of the equipment exploded, completely destroying the hideout with Dr. Wily still inside of it. A beam of light landed in the Scilab cyberspace to reveal that Mega Man and Naruto had returned from wherever they had come from. Looks like we made it back, said Naruto. Yeah, that's relief, said Mega Man. Mega Man, they turned to see Roll, Iceman and Glide running towards them with smiles on their faces. Roll ran up to him and gave him a hug. He was a bit surprised at first but responded with his own. I'm so glad that you're okay, said Roll. Thanks Roll, said Mega Man with a tinge of pink on his face while Naruto looked with a smile on his face. Hey, don't forget about me, said Gutsman walking up to them with a crutch and bandages on his right leg and around his chest. Gutsman is back too, said Roll happily. Everyone is okay, said Glide. I guess this means mission accomplished, said Naruto. You got that right Naruto, said Lon. Stick around Naruto, you'll definitely have a lot of fun with us, said Dex. And I wish to learn more about you, said Dr. Hikari. Sure, I wouldn't mind hanging out with you, said Naruto with a foxy grin. Kurama watched all of this with a smile on his before closing his eyes to sleep. Something tells me that we're in for a lot of adventures with these people. I hope that you enjoy your restart in this new world kit. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.